I'm posting this review 3 days after the game, but trust me, I didn't feel like posting it at all. At any point, if I sound too bored, it's just stark indifference. Gotta cope, eh? Watching the game on Wednesday made me want to throw up because the most basic footballing skills seem to have deserted our players. We will, of course, break the game down, but there are certain things that just can't be explained using a tactics board. The lack of desire, fight, and intensity shown at Old Trafford was alarming, and this was against a side that crumbles against any team that takes the game to them. As Chelsea fans, we need to come to terms with the fact that we've been set up to become a mid table club under the new ownership. The sacking of Thomas Tuchel and the subsequent allowance of mediocrity into the club almost makes it seem like the hunger to win silverware, which was absolutely everything under Roman Abramovich, is no longer there. Despite spending over £1 billion on players in the last year and a half, we are still lacking a proper striker and an able goalkeeper. How does this even happen? The squad has been filled with unproven players who are deemed to have high potential. These individuals have also been tied down to uncharacteristically long contracts. This is a setup which no top manager will want to walk into. The Simeones, Mourinhos, or the Contes of the world. But hey, I'm getting used to it. When West Ham United scripted a second half comeback to hand the Spursies yet another defeat a couple of days ago, I actually found myself feeling disappointed because ninth place is now further away. Welcome back to Venki Ball. And yes, I've added rants to the usual dose of tactical previews and reviews. If you like the content you see here, please slap a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone who might feel happy at a Chelsea fan's current plight. So let's start with the numbers. United came into this game having scored just 16 league goals, but had an expected goals number of over 4 on Wednesday. They had a total of 28 shots and could and should have scored more. The same can also be said about Chelsea, who missed a total of 5 big chances in this match. On another day, the scoreline could have read 6-6. The most recurring event in this game was us making an error while playing out, and United hitting quickly on the transition with our players out of position. Let's start with how we tried to build out from the back. United were aggressive in their press, with Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay staying tight to Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez respectively. Mauricio Pochettino took the decision to play Marc Cucurella at right back and Levi Colville at left back. Neither man bombed forward or played line-breaking passes, so the United wingers Antony and Alejandro Garnacho could stay narrow and support the press. The lack of attacking support from the fullbacks, especially in the first half, was there for all to see, and it begs the question as to why the manager is playing these players out of position. United looked up for it from the first whistle, whereas we looked lackadaisical. Here, in just the third minute, both Bruno and Luke Shaw are allowed way too much time on the ball, a move that ends with Rasmus Højlund drawing a save out of Robert Sanchez. The way we were looking to play through was by finding players in the half spaces alongside Sofian Amrabat, who was playing as a single pivot for United. With both Bruno and McTominay playing high, we should have been playing through their midfield press at will, at least on paper. Our distribution, however, was atrocious. Here, with acres of space to find a forward player, Sanchez gives the ball away, which leads to a swift counter-attack, culminating in a penalty award for the home side. The goalie redeemed himself temporarily, keeping out the resultant spot kick from Fernandes. United were hurting us down both wings. On the left, Caicedo wasn't staying near as touch tight to Fernandes as he should have been being, allowing the Portuguese the time to play through balls like these to Garnacho. On the right, Diogo Dalot was constantly bobbing forward, allowing Antony to receive in a deeper area and turn. With Enzo and Modric both not going with their runners at times, this allowed United to get in behind. Here is another example. Look at how passes into dangerous areas for both McTominay and Dalot are on here for Antony. Seconds before the United goal on 18 minutes, there was a chance for us to break and have a potential 4v3 situation. Jackson, however, messes up a simple pass to Enzo and takes all our players bombing forward out of the game. The Red Devils now have overloads, first on the right and then at the back post, and are allowed to have two bites of the cherry before scoring. From an attacking point of view, Chelsea could have done so much more when bypassing the Manchester United midfield wasn't very hard to do. Palmer started dropping deeper and deeper, looking to pull Amrabat with him and create space for the Chelsea forwards. Modric and Sterling both got into good positions at times, but we were wasteful with some more than decent openings. United were also prone to mistakes, and a more clinical team would have definitely taken advantage. Here, Amrabat gives the ball straight to Palmer in a central area. The subsequent passing move sees Mudrik go through on goal, but the winger is unable to make Anana work. Later in the first half, Victor Lindelof slips and puts Jackson one on one with Maguire. With three men to pick out, however, the striker somehow finds none of them. The Chelsea goal on the cusp of half time saw us finally make a move work, and it was simple passing. Silva once again found Mudrik with a line breaking pass, and the Ukrainian turned and found Palmer, who sidestepped two defenders before finishing in the far corner. We could have been 2 or 3 nil down, but we went into the break level. There was a feeling of, if we can sort our mistakes and sluggishness out, this game is there to be won. Reece James came on at halftime for Marco Corella. Finally, there was an overlapping fullback to play the ball to. Overall, though, the level seemed to drop even further in the second half. Giving the ball away while trying to build out from the back was a common occurrence, with James, Disasi, Silva, and Sanchez all unable to find passes into midfield with regularity. On the few occasions that we did bypass their midfield, the final ball was lacking. Look at the space in behind here for Jackson and Mudrik to run into. Caicedo's pass, however, is dismal and gets intercepted by Harry Maguire. Okay, so I have the screenshot. So here's another example of the fullback not overlapping. The winner for United came 20 minutes from time, using a pattern of play we had seen all game. Garnacho was given time and space to cross the ball in from the right, and United had a 3v2 overload at the back post. What exactly was the plan here? We know McTominay has a knack of making the right run into the box, but why did we make him look like prime Frank Lampard? Who was meant to be marking him? And why were the crosses not being closed down with more urgency? Here is a carbon copy of the situation from the first half, when Bruno was allowed all the time in the world to look up and pick out an unmarked McTominay, whose header in this case was straight at Sanchez. As a Chelsea fan, what I was watching was absolutely baffling. Pochettino brought on Armando Broja in the 77th minute and took off Modric, switching to a 4-2-4. Our biggest source of creativity came from Palmer and James combining on the right. We had two big chances, both from James's crosses. Enzo completely missed his attempt at a backheel, while Broja hit the post with a header. In the end, though, United deserved to win the game with the way things went. Next up, we travelled to Goodison Park on Sunday to take on an Everton side high on confidence after a 3-0 win over Newcastle. Check in later today for a tactical preview of that game.